Hey everyone, and welcome to your Motivation Monday. Hope you guys have had a great week and that you are kicking off this week with a lot of energy and engagement, and you're ready for this Wednesday's call as well, which is going to be all around penalty area decisions. I'm super excited for the call. I've got some great clips that I hope to review with you guys and really want to share what this is in terms of making the best possible decision in an area of the field that I think is often very, very, very overcomplicated depending on how you look at the game. To me, the penalty area starts to resemble an impossible puzzle because there are times where you think you have all the pieces and then something happens, something doesn't fit. Player goes down, one team is screaming for a penalty, the other team is screaming it's a dive, and you've got a half a second to make that decision. We've all been there. No pressure, right? But the thing is, making the right call isn't about guessing. It's about putting the right pieces together to solve the puzzle for that decision. And today I want to share a little bit more on how developing as a referee is like building that puzzle a little piece at a time so that as you are improving, you're learning and getting just that little bit better. Whether it's your positioning, whether it's your law knowledge, whether it's your game experience, all of these things start to matter, especially in the chaos that can be the penalty area. Penalty decisions aren't always going to be clear cut. Sometimes you're looking at a sequence like half the puzzle pieces are still in the box, right? And you only see half the picture. Maybe your positioning isn't immediately, perfect. You see contact, but was it a trip? Was it a fall? We don't know. And it gets frustrating. It gets frustrating for referees, and it's even frustrating for the players because in real time, it's tough to judge. And there's going to be times where something will look like it fits, but really it doesn't. So I want to ask something. When you guys make these calls, have you ever had a moment where you look back and you realize that you made the call without having all the information available to you? If you have, guess what? You're not alone. Everyone out there has done this. Everyone out there has been with just a little bit of that piece missing, but we still have to make that call and we still have to make that judgment. So what does that look like? And what does it mean when you have to only use part of the pieces in order to make the best decision possible? Law 5 says we have to apply the laws to the best of our abilities. And I think this is one of those moments where we have to give ourselves a lot of grace in terms of making the decision and not feeling like we have the weight of the game on our shoulders. However, at the same time, it is completely and totally a decision that can flip a game on its head. So we do want to take the most care we can in terms of getting that decision correct. Think back to when you first started refereeing. Those are the easier pieces to put together, the very edge, right? The basics are all there. Your foul recognition, your positioning, your basic positioning, right? But the ones in the middle of the puzzle are the ones that are really starting to complete the picture of who you are as a referee. The ones that are all about taking that analysis to a higher level, taking that piece of game understanding to a level that comes from many games in the middle or on the line, where you're able to start to discern what is actually happening versus what it looks like is happening. And I think there's a lot of different ways you have I think there's a lot of different ways that those pieces can start to get put together, but only one certain way is going to lead you to the best possible outcome and to reach your goals. And I think that is where we owe it to ourselves to be able to look at this in this kind of sequence, in this kind of community, to be able to look at ourselves and maybe rearrange those pieces and think a little differently in order to get the best out of ourselves. So if your puzzle piece that you're kind of working on is your positioning, we need to work on anticipation. We need to work on our game knowledge. We need to work on understanding different flow. This can all change with different ages and so forth. We all know this, but it's really critical that we learn the best positioning in order to put ourselves in and around that penalty area in order to make the best possible decision. We have to be able to read player behavior. We have to be able to look at when players are genuinely playing the game as it's intended, or when they're looking to sort of con the referee and gain an advantage by either simulating or making a foul appear as if it's happened, or something of that nature, right? That is different, right? You have to build your pieces around confidence and decision making. You have to trust yourself. Trust your gut almost, especially in the penalty area. It's one of those moments where it's a make or break decision, and if your gut tells you absolutely spot on 100% penalty, you blow the whistle, you have strong mechanics, everything is perfect. And that's really the final piece. That final piece is trusting yourself, trusting your judgment, trusting your game knowledge, and making sure that that last and final piece, that piece that completes that picture, fits right in perfectly. So as we go through and we think on this week, right? The penalty area itself is a puzzle. There's so many different variables that go into a penalty decision. But what are the things that we do on a day-to-day basis that lead us up to making those really competent, qualified, and confident decisions? Just like a puzzle, it takes time. No one has a puzzle completed in 5 seconds. It is a 2,000 or a 3,000 piece puzzle that each and every game you start to build on. You start to see the image more clearly, and you start to put the images, those sequences together to become the best referee that you can be. So my challenge for you is to, in your next match or in your next sequence, right? Ask yourself, what piece are you working on today? What piece, especially when it comes to these sorts of critical KMI, key match incident decisions, are you working on improving? Because when it comes to looking at this game and not being the one to change it on its head without due course or without, justification, I think that's when it becomes a much, much clearer picture for you and for me to be able to develop as referees. So I want you to think about and share, what was your most challenging penalty decision? What was the best decision you've ever made? What is that one decision that you are proud that you made, or even proud that you didn't make? I'd love to hear your stories in the comment here, and drop a comment. Let me know. What were those decisions looking like for you? And if you want to go deeper into penalty area decisions, stick around this week, because that is everything that we are doing. I've got some interesting stuff coming out on Instagram, and I even have some stuff held back for our call on Wednesday, as well as the video segment for What's Your Call Wednesday as well. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Feel free to join our call on Wednesday, and I look forward to seeing you guys for What's Your Call Wednesday as well. Have a great week, guys.